Chapter 30, The Lone Thief of the Night. There was a blinding flare of white light in all directions. The young man in black shielded his face with one arm, desperately looking around for an escape route. He was deaf to the shouting of harsh voices from below and the ringing of sirens as he leaped over one rooftop to the next. Another beam of light pointed at him as he reached a dead end. The sound of footsteps and yelling came nearer. There was no place to run. Then a large bang echoed into the endless black night. England. Errol, what's with that grave expression? Nakuru asked, laughing. For heaven's sake, lighten up. It's summer. Have fun. Fun? Oh, it's no fun here in England, Tanako Miho complained, running a finger through her short auburn hair framing her face. Her mischievous smoke-gray eyes twinkled. I say, I want to go to Japan for summer vacation, where there's so many cute guys. Oh, I second going to Japan, Kiro-chan exclaimed, glaring at Errol. He stated, Sakura-chan's not so stingy when it comes to making me nice food. In a bored tone, Soupy-chan commented, though Errol's good at cooking, to quench your appetite, he'll have to be cooking all day, and you'll still want more. With narrowed silver-violet eyes, Yue said, Kiraberos, you've been no help whatsoever in gaining information to aid our mistress. We won't be going back to Japan for a long time at this rate. Well, I was the one who called Sakura-chan and told her about the 5 forest treasures. Plus, I called her yesterday and told her that they might hold a significant key to solving some of the mysteries, so that it'll be best for her to try and gather all 5 treasures. Kiro-chan retorted, offended, flying around the room with his hands paws on his hips. It doesn't matter. The longer you all stay, the better. Then Toya-kun can stay here forever and ever. Nakuru swooned, flipping back her long maroon hair. Oh, too bad he's so busy studying. It's a good that he's getting honors and awards here, but I mean, like, the girls here are drooling over the new Japanese foreign exchange student. There's that Duchess girl who's like so rich and has a crush on him. Ugh, talk about competition for me. Placing his forehead on his hand, Errol sighed. He was too polite to say that all of them were giving him a headache. What are you worrying so hard about? Lighten up, dude. I mean, whoever you are an incarnation of doesn't change your identity now, Miho stated, jumping behind Errol and slapping his back. Errol's eyes bulged out as his sunglasses were knocked off. Everyone smothered a giggle, except for Yue, who never laughed. Miho was the only one who could treat Errol like that. It's nothing much. I just have an uneasy feeling something big going to happen this summer, Errol said, his midnight blue eyes glimmering. I'm too lazy to further inspect my prophetic skills. Still, the more unexpected things that happen, the more fun it is. That's the spirit, Miho exclaimed, patting Errol's head. Hee-hee! Who would guess that Errol's the older one, stated Nakuru, settling down on the arm of Errol's sofa. Yet, all the same, Errol's too mellow and thinks too much to his crooked personality, and he finds the oddest things amusing. Yeah, agreed Kiro-chan. When it comes to finding strange things amusing, the only other person who can outdo Errol is Tomeo-chan. All the same, Sakura has to be extra careful from now on. She already has had several close calls, Kaho Mizuki said, fingering one of her recent letters that Sakura had sent her. Of course, she trusted that Sakura would do fine, yet, all the same, she had some uneasy feelings. Japan. I can't believe it. It's practically summer vacation, Sakura exclaimed to her friends at school during lunchtime. The girls had gathered to eat their lunch under the shaded tree on the grass. She fanned herself with a piece of paper. Her white summer uniform blouse clung to her back, and her hair was pulled up in a loose bun. Ah, the last day of school, Chiharu exclaimed happily. We'll have the whole vacation ahead of us. Are you guys doing anything special? Nah, Sakura replied. I'm going to sleep, eat good food, and rest. No more studying math for me. With Syaoran's help, she had aced the recent math test and shocked her teacher with a drastic improvement. Chuckling, she noted that her brother would be impressed when he saw her report card. There's going to be a soccer game this afternoon, Rika stated. It's the last game of the season. Are you guys going? It's a home game. I am, Tomeo replied. I was asked to videotape the whole thing. It's going to be a hot match. The other team, Itoko Junior High, is supposed to be really good, but the Seiju Junior High soccer team is also top-notch. I bet it's going to make it to the Youth Soccer Championship. After all, Lee-kun and Chin-kun are in it, Nako added. They are so cool, I think, Chiharu said. Soccer players are the most awesome. Ugh, I wish Takashi-kun would try out for a sport. He's good too, except he's too lazy. From the background, they could hear girls shrieking. No, basketball is more cool. Long live Agaki Domaki! Aki bowed graciously to them. All the junior high girls, even from the other schools, are head over heels for Lee-kun and Chin-kun. Isn't Lee-kun amazing, Sakura-chan? Tomeo asked. Previously, Sakura would have wholeheartedly agreed, saying Lee-kun was marvelous. Now, she couldn't be so frank about it. Avoiding the question, she exclaimed, the last lunch before vacation starts. Then she fumbled in her bag. Whee! I forgot to bring my lunchbox. Oh no, not again, Nako exclaimed, laughing. It wasn't the first time. From behind a bush, Syaoran poked Sakura, who looked around, surprised. Embarrassed, he shoved out a pink and white striped lunchbox and whispered, Here, you forgot to take it this morning. Thanks, Sakura replied, also in a whisper, looking around to see if anyone was watching, before continuing to her friends. Ha ha ha! How stupid of me. I was the one who packed it, and I forgot to bring it. Yeah. Quickly, Syaoran turned around and tiptoed back to his friends. My favorite, fried shrimps, Sakura stated, starting to devour her lunch happily. Meanwhile, Chiharu gazed at her strangely, placing her chin on her hand. Hui? What? Sakura stammered, sweat dropping. She'd been sure no one saw Syaoran give her the lunchbox. How come Lee-kun has your lunch? Chiharu asked. Huh? Sakura replied in dismay. Oh no, she couldn't let her friends know she was staying at Syaoran's house. Yeah, it's weird. I always see you two walking or rollerblading to school together barely on time, and you two always meet outside the school gate to return home together after your after-school sports is over, Nako interrogated suspiciously. Also, you two always miss the same days of school, Rika added after a while. Oh, I remember when I called his house late at night. A girl answered it once, Rika commented. Is there anything going on between you two? I mean, aren't you guys entering the best couple contest together? Chiharu continued to inquire. I, Sakura stammered, turning redder and redder. Damn it, it's nothing! Someone shouted from way across. Everyone dropped their food and stared that direction, mouths hanging wide open. The teacher on duty's ear twitched. Syaoran, who was standing up and shouting in rage, realized that the whole school campus was staring at him. Sweat dropping, he slowly sank back to his seat, glaring at his so-called guy friends. Sheesh, all I ask is what's up with you and Kitamoto-san, one of his friends commented, hard-eyed. Why'd you give her a lunchbox? Isn't it supposed to be the other way around? Girl makes the lunch and gives it to the boy. Yeah, are you hitting on her? How far have you gotten? Is she the rather innocent type? Aki asked. Oh man, you're a lucky guy. Syaoran mumbled. I said shut up, it's nothing. Edon stated coolly. Well, if she's not your girl, I guess you don't mind if I take her? Glaring a little too forcibly, Syaoran quietly said, "Saunima." His amber eyes were cold and narrowed. The guys nudged each other, asking, "What does that mean, eh?" "Dunno. Must be a Chinese swear word. Lee's from Hong Kong, right?" Apparently, Aeron had some understanding of Chinese swear words, for he turned rather pale and refused to talk to Syaoran for the rest of the day. After school, as Sakura packed her books, Aeron asked, "Hey, are you coming to watch the soccer game?" "Me? Maybe," Sakura stammered to Aeron. "Well, see you later at the game," Aeron said, winking and walking off. "I'm counting on you coming." "Okay." She watched him walk away casually, his usual low ponytail flicking back. From behind Sakura's desk, Syaoran frowned to see Sakura blush ever so slightly as she gazed at Aeron. Then she turned around. "You're in the game too, aren't you?" Syaoran said, Yeah. Will you come and watch? I'm playing as a starter." "I knew you'd be playing. You're the captain of the team anyway." Laughing, Sakura commented, "Never knew you were the pep rallying type." "So, are you coming?" Syaoran questioned eagerly, despite himself. "Are you that eager for me to come?" Blushing, Syaoran stammered, "No. Why should I care if you come or not?" Giving a significant look to Syaoran, she stated, "Well, I don't know. I don't really appreciate guys who shout swear words out during lunch." Ears turning red, Syaoran said, "Well, it's 'cause the guys were getting on my nerves. You know, about your lunchbox." "You too." "I think the girls are starting to figure out that I'm staying at your house. It's awful." After pondering, he questioned, "It doesn't really matter though, does it? I mean, if they found out, what's the worst thing that can happen?" "It does matter to me," Sakura snapped. "A girl has a reputation. Plus, I can't stand gossiping." For a second, Syaoran seemed to be in deep thought. Then he stated out of nowhere, "Oh yeah, the fried shrimps were burnt." "Then you make your lunch from now on!" Sakura stomped off. "I never said they were bad, though," mumbled Syaoran. 5 minutes left, called out the soccer coach. The score was 2-2, a tie. Both soccer teams had stunning athletes, though the Seiju team was slightly better than the visiting Itoko team in Sakura's opinion. She realized that there was no team cooperation between Aeron and Syaoran, the two key offense players in the team. This was a great disadvantage to their side. "Ugh, guys frustrate me so much. Why can't they get along?" Sakura complained to her friends. Another great shooting opportunity missed because Aeron refused to pass to Syaoran, who was in an open spot. The crowd of students gathered by the sunny field to watch the game. That was amazing. A group of cheerleading girls in their uniforms were yelling out at their cheers. "Look at that marvelous steal!" Tomeo exclaimed as Syaoran shot from across the field like lightning, dodged all the opponents, and snaked between two big guys to steal away the soccer ball quickly. Now he was dribbling rapidly to the goal, twisting in and out of the rival defenders. "Wow, he's so fast and agile," Nako awed. All the girl fans, even those from Itoko Junior High, were squealing, "Lee-san!" Well, Syaoran did look impressive in his navy blue soccer uniform with red and white trims and white soccer cleats. Everybody were on their toes as the climax of the game waged. Sakura groaned. Ugh. Quickly, 4 big opponents were heading to block Syaoran as he approached the goal. Then her eyes darted across the field. Aeron was open. Still, Syaoran did not even glance in that direction. Frustrated, Sakura leaped up from the crowd and shouted, "Syaoran! Pass to Aeron! He's open!" For a second, Syaoran's eyes darted to Sakura, who was sitting up in the front. Then he saw Aeron waving frantically to pass at him. He was in a good position to shoot, and the seconds were ticking away. Oh, what is he doing? Sakura muttered as Syaoran still refused to pass. Syaoran, time's running out. There's only one chance. Without a second thought, Syaoran made a marvelous direct pass to Aeron, who jumped up into the air and kicked the advancing ball with full might into the net. The goalie reached out, but the soccer ball skimmed over his fingertips and hissed at the corner of the net before dropping to the floor. Everyone was silent. The whistle blew. Then there was an immense roaring of the students. Seiju Junior High soccer team had won the game, 3-2. They were undefeated once more. Clapping in joy, Sakura jumped up and down with Tomeo. Ooh, we won, we won, we won, we won! Sakura-chan, your shoelace, Nako commented. Huh? Sakura stared down to see the white shoelace of her brand new sneaker had snapped apart. There was that superstition about broken shoelaces being bad luck. She wasn't superstitious, yet why did she have an uneasy feeling? The Lee Syaoran fan club girls were regretting. Oh, too bad he didn't make the deciding goal. Still, he was fantastic. Great pass, Lee, the soccer coach congratulated, slapping Syaoran on the back. Everyone in turn slapped Syaoran's back and congratulated Aeron for his terrific goal. As the soccer players changed out of their uniforms, Syaoran groaned. The slapping on his back hurt because his wounds from the whip were not completely healed yet. Plus, earlier in the game, someone had knocked him to the ground on his back. Hey, what's with all the bandages on your back? One of his friends asked. Were you in a fight? Yeah, Syaoran said, sweat dropping. Kinda. Looks more like stretch marks to me. Oh, I get it. You pissed off some girl and she scratched you with her nails, concluded his teammate. Think what you want to, Syaoran replied. When he was changed, he found he was facing Aeron. Quietly, he said, I didn't pass to you because I accept you. It was only for the team. I know. Aeron looked thoughtful. And was it also for Sakura? Shrugging, Syaoran said, maybe. Anyway, you made a pretty good shot. At least I could trust you to make the goal in. Saying this, he eyed one of their teammates who always hogged up the ball and missed all the goals. Of course. After all, it's me you're talking about. Aeron replied, grinning confidently. You made a pretty good pass also. This time, Syaoran nodded. Of course. Well, good game. We have now ensured our team and our school for the championship. Aeron held out a hand. For future victories. Shaking his hand firmly, Syaoran commented, You know, you're not that bad of a guy. Looking up with amused golden eyes, Aeron replied, You're not that bad of a guy either. Shouldn't you be buying me dinner instead of making me cook? Syaoran asked that evening as he stirred the spaghetti, tomato, and meat sauce with a wooden spoon in the kitchen. Our team won the soccer game. It was a decisive major victory. Nah, Sakura replied, tossing the salad. I wouldn't buy you dinner. Why? Because I didn't make the winning goal? Actually, I admire you more for showing sportsmanship and cooperation for the team and passing to Aeron-kun. So even if Aeron made the winning goal, I'm all the more proud of you. Sakura divided the pasta into 2 plates. Slyly, she noted. Anyway, that doesn't change the fact that you shot the other 2 goals. That's true, Syaoran said with no hesitation. Ha ha, you're so modest, Sakura commented jokingly. Then she realized that she'd been staying at Syaoran's for over a month now. Practically 2. Time flew by. It was already summer. If your family was here, would you go on a trip? Syaoran inquired suddenly. It seemed as if he could catch every expression and change on her face. How did he know she was thinking of her family? Probably. Usually on the first day of vacation, me, my father, and my brother celebrate by eating dinner out. And maybe doing something fun together, like watching the movies or going to Tokyo. Ruefully smiling, Sakura recalled that her father had called her the previous day on her hand phone. He said he had attended many seminars over the past weeks and had made speeches. So far, his trip to various college boards were greatly successful. Plus, he had received an award for his educational and intellectual lecture on archaeology. Carelessly, Sakura added some seasoning to the sauce. This was the first time she had been separated from her family for so long. As she stirred the tomato sauce with a spoon, her finger touched the boiling hot pot. Ouch! She dropped the spoon and brought her burnt finger to her lips. Are you okay? Here, let me see it, Syaoran said, holding her burnt finger. It's okay, Sakura stammered, trying to keep her hand from shaking. How unlike him to hold it so gently with that little worried frown on his face. It made her stomach giddy. Gently, he blew on her burnt finger. Does it hurt? Silly, you should be more careful. Go sit at the table. I'll finish cooking. Nodding, Sakura walked to the table. Syaoran, he was so gentle and caring at times. Bringing the steaming dishes, Syaoran declared, I know. For a change from home cooking, I'll buy you dinner next time for giving good advice at the soccer game. Really? Clapping her hands together, she exclaimed, at a 5-star restaurant? Sure, Syaoran said, smiling slightly to see Sakura so excited. And something fun afterwards? Sakura decided. All right, whatever you want. Promise? Sakura struck out her pinky finger at Syaoran, who stared back, a little befuddled. Hesitantly, he held out his own pinky, crossing it with Sakura's. At strange times, he often caught wistful, sad expression on Sakura's face. Those were the moments that Sakura thought that no one was watching, when she was alone. The frank, almost childish delight on her face was all that he could ask for the moment. What? Why are you staring at me like that? Sakura asked as she saw Syaoran's absorbed, amber eyes fixed on her, blushing the color of her tomato sauce spaghetti after a while. Is there spaghetti sauce on my face? After a while, Syaoran said, You really are like a child, aren't you? Hui? That's an insult, isn't it? Sakura replied in mock anger. Not really. As she twisted her fork in the pasta, Sakura thought, I think Syaoran's being nice because he noticed I was missing my family a little. Could he have been worrying the slightest bit? How did he know what I was thinking? I don't think it was that noticeable. All the same, it's really considerate of him. He always knows what I want. She gazed out the window. Outside, it was becoming dusky. Then she saw a flock of raven black crows pass by, cawing and screeching uncannily. There were 13 of them. Shrugging it aside, Sakura looked away. Yet, when she saw the frowning expression on Syaoran's face as he looked outside, she felt the slightest bit uneasy and her good mood spoiled. Oh, it's so hot, groaned Sakura, reaching for a piece of paper to fan herself with the next afternoon. Oh, what a great way to spend vacation, being boiled to death. She reached for the fruit bowl full of ripe, luscious green grapes. You're the one who went out to meet your friends in this awful weather, Syaoran replied, popping a grape into his mouth, relishing the tart, sweet juice which felt cool down his throat. Luckily, Sakura had done the groceries on the way back. At least the movie theater was air-conditioned, Sakura stated. You should have come too. I had other things to do. I wouldn't watch some silly romantic comedy with a bunch of giggling girls. Syaoran rolled up his sleeves of his t-shirt, revealing his muscular arms. I can't believe I'm already sick of summer. You really should fix your air conditioner. Wait, I have an idea, Sakura exclaimed. Critically, Syaoran raised his eyebrow as Sakura whipped out her staff and card. Minutes later, they cooled under the light breeze of the windy, whistling. Syaoran commented. Smart. That evening, they lounged around watching TV when the phone rang. Sakura jumped. What's wrong with you? Syaoran asked. You're really jumpy these days. Oh, nothing. I'll get the phone. From her position on the sofa, Sakura reached over the phone. Clearing her throat, she said, Hello? Kinomoto Sakura speaking. Sakura-chan? Came a familiar voice. Lin-chan? Sakura exclaimed. Wow, it's been ages since I heard from you. How are things in Hong Kong? Are you guys on summer vacation also? Huh? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Summer vacation starts next week for us. Sakura listened as Melanie fiddled with her jet black hair. She sounded rather distant. Oh, are you okay? You sound, I don't know, rather worried about something. Sakura commented, rather concerned. Melanie wasn't as energetic and bouncy as usual. Sorry, it's just, well, Melanie trailed off. So, how are things there? No big news or anything? Not really. Since you left, we captured the unicorn card, the whip card, and I made the heel card. Oh, I still didn't catch the phantom card, but it's sealed in the theater basement anyway. There's no news these days. Why? Okay. If there's no big news, I guess it's all right, Melanie said into the phone, heaving a long sigh. Is something the matter? Finally, Melanie blurted out, Have you heard anything about the Kaido magician over there? Not really. He sent us a package with the 5-4 scroll, a handcuff, and a map once, but we haven't heard from him since. Why? Did something happen to him? Sakura's heart skipped a beat. The anxiety in Melanie's voice was poorly concealed, and all sorts of terrible thoughts fled into her mind, especially remembering what she saw in the mirror of truth. Not yet. I'm just worried. Melanie fingered a silver wire bracelet around her wrist. Actually, the reason I'm asking is because he appeared in Hong Kong for a while. The police were on his track and almost caught him, but he disappeared, so I'm just wondering if he's safe in Japan now. Oh. Sakura was silent. A little more brightly, Melanie added, Well, there's a saying that no news is good news. I'm sure nothing bad happened. Sorry for calling you so suddenly. It's not like I care about what happens to a thief, yet it's still kind of nerve-wracking. I mean, he knows all about us. If he gets caught by the police, who knows? Our secrets may be out for the world. Don't worry about it. Well, no problem. It was good hearing from you again, Melanie-chan. Do you want to talk to Syaoran? No, it's okay. Just send him my greetings. Just tell him that the girls in Hong Kong miss him. Oh, bye. Keep safe and try to stay out of trouble. Bye. Sakura placed the phone back on the receiver. Why was she getting a more and more uneasy feeling? Are you worrying about that stupid thief? Syaoran asked. He knows how to take care of himself. Still, he's only human. No news was good news, right? Frowning, Sakura remembered how Kaido-kun had returned not only her diamond necklace, as well as the star sapphire ring. He was not a bad person, despite the fact that he was a thief. Taking the television remote control, Syaoran absently flipped through the channels. Wait, stop! Sakura said. Let's watch the evening news. The news! Syaoran guffawed. Suddenly, he turned his full attention to the screen. The reporter was saying, The Kaido magician has been spotted in Japan in the past few days. Last week, he was almost captured by the Hong Kong police force. However, living up to his name as a magician, he disappeared, though barely. The Hong Kong police ensure that he couldn't escape much longer. The Japan police force are on his track at this moment, and the head of the police department reassures us that the catching of this notorious thief of the night is a matter of time. He quoted, "No matter what people say, the Kaido magician is only a human. He has his limits and cannot escape us much longer. We, the Japanese police force, are hot on the Kaido's tracks and have come up with an excellent government top-secret device and plot to capture the treacherous scoundrel who so often escapes our grasp." Holding up the remote control, Sakura clicked off the television. "What'd you do that for?" Syaoran asked. "Oh, I can't bear to watch it. When I didn't know Kaido-kun, it didn't matter, but I just can't see someone I know portrayed on the news like that. It's like a mousetrap or something," Sakura stated. "Don't worry too much about it," Syaoran reassured, though he himself felt that uneasy feeling inside him grow. "Oh, it takes ages off your life if you don't get sufficient sleep," Syaoran warned. Yawning by the time it was midnight. Stubbornly, Sakura had sat up, alert for hours, for no reason at all. Bolting it from her chair, Sakura exclaimed, "Did you hear that?" "Hear what?" "Shh! Listen." Syaoran and Sakura both sat still, listening. "Is that the sound of sirens?" Syaoran said, leaning towards the window. "Probably just passing by." "No, it's coming near, in this direction. It's freaky." Nerve-wracking shivers ran down her spine. "Don't listen to it," Syaoran advised, ignoring the warning signals in his head. With her hands, she blocked her ears at the sound. Finally, she stood up. "Oh, I can't stand it. I'm going to go see what's happening." Walking up to the sliding glass doors leading to the balcony, Sakura drew open the curtains and slid back the door. A cold gust of wind blew in. The wailing sirens rang into the night, even louder than before. Tentatively, Sakura stepped into the balcony. There was a thud, and a figure dressed all in black landed on the railings of the apartment balcony. Gasping, Sakura stammered, You... The young man looked up and grinned. He put a gloved finger to his lips and said, "Shh." Then he dropped down onto the balcony and looked down at the bottom of the apartment. The building was surrounded by police cars. Policemen flocked to the place, shouting at each other. Many of their neighbors had wakened and looked out the window, puzzled. "Kaido-kun, what are you doing here?" Sakura whispered. "It's a long story. Sorry, I didn't mean to come here. Those bags are still chasing me," the Kaido magician replied, indicating the police. "I'm leaving. Just need to catch my breath." "Why don't you come in?" Sakura asked. "You look drop-dead tired." "No, it's okay," he replied. "Gotta escape." You can't. The apartment's flocked with security," Syaoran stated in a matter-of-fact way as he walked up to the sliding door. Cursing under his breath, the Kaido magician ran inside the house to the kitchen window and looked outside. Police cars flocked beneath. Then he ran over to the window facing the other direction. More police. He could hear their voices distinctly shouting and footsteps echoing in the hallways beneath that floor. They were checking each house. Slumping on the floor, Kaido magician pressed his forehead against his hand. Shit! How do they always know where I am? No matter where I hide, they always find me. He fingered a locket around his neck. Then his brain clicked. No wonder. Glancing around with his frantic eyes, he murmured, "Where can I run now?" "Kaido-kun, you can't stay here. We'll hide you," Sakura said. "We will?" asked Syaoran, raising an eyebrow. Sakura nudged him hard. "That's impossible. The cops are checking each house. They'll find me. You guys will just get in trouble," Kaido replied harshly. You forget. I can use the invisible so they can't see you. Or I can make you small and hide you in my pocket. There's many options, Sakura stated. No, you don't understand. Even though they can't see me, they'll be able to locate me. They installed a microchip on me so that they can trace me wherever I go in their computer system, the thief replied. Slowly, he stood up. For a second, he grimaced and toppled over. His hand flew to his right chest, where a piercing pain shot through his body. Kaido-kun, what's the matter? Sakura exclaimed. Under better light, she could see that his face was placid and that a frown creased his smooth forehead. He looked more tired than usual, though dark glasses covered his eyes. Nothing. The young man removed his hand from his chest. His black shirt was wet. You are bleeding. Were you wounded? I guess I was shot several days ago. It was pure clumsiness on my part. You guess you were shot. You can't go like that, Sakura uttered in shock. They'll find me if I don't hurry. They've got a microchip filed on me similar to the one I attached to Mei Lin, but 10 times more advanced. The Kaido magician replied, They can trace my every movement. That's not a problem, Syaoran responded. How stupid of me not to think of it sooner. From his pocket, he drew out several ward papers, then threw them out to all around the room. Guard! Okay, now this room is warded. Nothing can penetrate into this room, not even computer devices. The police won't be able to trace you. Now relax, you're safe for a while. There was a loud banging on the front door. Police were checking each room now. To Sakura, Syaoran said, You hide him, I'll talk to the police. Nodding, Sakura led Kaido into another room. Another pounding at the door came. Pretending to yawn, Syaoran opened the door. 2 large men in police suits stood at the front door with their arms folded. With half-shut eyes, Syaoran mumbled, Who is it? Showing their police warrants, they replied, We're the police force. From our data, we found the Kaido magician headed in this direction. In fact, we came to believe that he is in this building right now. We are trying to locate this thief and would highly appreciate your cooperation. Do you live here alone? Me? I live with my, my sister, Syaoran blurted out. No parents? A man asked, raising an eyebrow. May we search the place? That would be unnecessary. There are only 2 people in this house, me and my sister. Yes, but the Kaido magician is very tricky. He may be hiding. Believe me, this is for the safety of the citizens. The 2 policemen entered the house and began searching the rooms. Approaching Sakura's room, the police asked, Anyone in there? Coming out of her room with round, innocent eyes, Sakura asked, I heard noises. What's the matter? You're the only one in there. You must be his sister, the man replied, nodding to Syaoran. Sister? Yeah, I'm his sister, Sakura said. Then taking Syaoran's arm, she whined, Oni-chan, I'm scared. Who are these big, scary men? They'll be gone soon, Syaoran replied, giving a significant look to the 2 men. Finally, one of the men came out of the last room and stated, No one. Strange, I swear the red dot indicated this room. Oh, the chief's officer said he attached a microchip on the Kaido magician, so all we'll have to do is follow the red dot, but the dot completely disappeared from the screen. He held up his mini computer to his comrade, who shrugged. Well, sorry to disturb you 2, the other man said. Remember, if you have the slightest clue where the Kaido is, report to us at once. After they left, Sakura and Syaoran both heaved a sigh of relief. The Kaido magician reappeared. Thanks to the invisible card, he had comfortably just sat on the couch watching the police come and go. He said in a scratchy voice, I guess you guys saved me. I'll pay you back one day. I'll leave now. No, the police are still out there and you're hurt. Not to mention while you're in here, you're safe since the police special tracking equipment don't pass through. Thanks to Syaoran's magic, Sakura said. Look, I don't need to be looked after, all right? I know how to take care of myself. Don't butt into other people's affairs, Kaido magician snapped. See, I told you, muttered Syaoran. Here, let me at least try to look at your wound. Sakura said, taking out the heal card. Do what you want, Kaido mumbled as Sakura began to focus her powers. After a while, Sakura sighed in disappointment, putting down the heel. I'm sorry, I can't do much. The bullet's embedded beneath your flesh. I think it barely missed your heart. I don't have enough powers to handle a gunshot. It's all right, Kaido replied reassuringly. It doesn't hurt as much as before. Well, I think you're here. We deserve an explanation, Syaoran stated, leaning back against the couch and crossing his legs. Why are you in this kind of scrape anyway, Kaido magician, the genius thief? Whatever happened since you left Japan? Not that much, muttered Kaido. I went to Europe to take on some business, then I went to Hong Kong. Hong Kong? Whatever would you do there? Syaoran asked in disbelief. You know I'm collecting the Five Force treasures, right? I found the diamond necklace and the sapphire ring, he said. As he said this, he swept out an elegant hand. The necklace slid from Sakura's neck into his spread palm, while Syaoran's ring slipped off his chain and plopped on top of that. Fondly, he fingered the jewels. And the mirror truth is stored away in a safe place. The fourth treasure is to find the Li clan sword. He gave a significant look to Syaoran. But why would you go to Hong Kong for that? Syaoran-kun has the sword right here in Japan, Sakura said. Run! Grinning slowly, the Kaido magician gazed directly at Syaoran through his dark sunglasses. The silver cross earring on his left ear gleamed. You sent that sword back to Hong Kong with Mei Lin, didn't you? How'd you know that? Syaoran exclaimed. That had been a Li clan secret. But what about the sword you use these days? Sakura asked. It's just a temporary replacement. The real 5-4 sword was sent back to Hong Kong with Mei Lin. The great elder said he wanted to examine it. Syaoran replied. Wow! And Kaido-kun, you knew that Syaoran sent the sword back to Hong Kong. Oh, you're amazing, Sakura awed. I know. Kaido grinned, starting to look his confident, self-assured self as usual, flicking back some loose strands of bangs from his tousled spiked hair. Some time ago in the chase, he had lost his long, flowing midnight black cloak. His sleeveless black shirt had a tear where the gun penetrated into his left chest. As usual, though, he looked impressive. Anyway, continuing with my story. I went to Hong Kong. I could locate the Li main house easily, thanks to the microchip I attached to Mei Lin's bracelet, yet it turned out that little Chinese girl wouldn't give up the sword so easily. I had some trouble, to put it mildly. Sakura giggled, picturing what mild trouble would be. After all, she knew Mei Lin's stubbornness. Clearing his throat as if recalling something, Kaido continued. Well, I guess I was a bit too careless. About a week ago, I had a close scrape with the Hong Kong police. I think that's when they attached the detecting microchip. They were pointing a strange device at me. I didn't feel anything when they shot it off, but I guess I was being too careless. I've been chased ever since then. How did they attach the microchip on you? Can't you get it off? Sakura inquired. I don't know. Tentatively, he unhooked a locket hanging from a chain around his neck. The microchip's attached to the side of this locket. It's the newest top model, TMI-305. They can locate all my movement with their computer program device. And I can't remove the microchip without the police's special top secret equipment, which is stored away safely at the police headquarters in Tokyo. Syaoran asked bluntly, Then why don't you just throw away the locket into a river or something? Gazing down at the silver oval locket with strange engravings, he clutched it tightly. I can't. It's my last possession that is slowly related to my identity. Without it, I'm losing the last key to who I really am. Plus, Kaido fingered a round circular ruby embedded into the middle of the front of the locket. Thinking about it, so far you've located the first 4 treasures: Amiya's diamond, Li's sword, Mizuki mirror, and Reed's sapphire. What about the last one? The ruby earrings? Sakura asked. That's my point. My ultimate goal is to find the 5 treasures. Don't ask me why. I found the first 4. The ruby in the setting of my locket might be the ruby from the earrings, Kaido replied, gazing down at the pigeon's blood red globular ruby embedded into the center of the white gold locket. But it's only one ruby and not even an earring, Syaoran pointed out. It could be one side of the ruby earring embedded in a new setting over these years, Kaido replied. I can't take any chances. Even if I throw this locket away, they'll locate it through the microchip device, and they'll have one more clue towards my identification. Oh, starting to understand the situation now, Sakura mused. So then what happened after you went to Hong Kong? Well, once I figured the police were on my track, I knew I had to get out of Hong Kong. Meilin was really helpful in smuggling me out. I never knew the Lees had such influential power in that government, high officials and such, the thief continued. That, Syaoran commented. It's 'cause our family knows that we play dangerous stuff. It's always safe to have good ties with high officials, so the Lee clan worked hard to make a prominent family name in Hong Kong. Huh, makes sense. Kaido-kun was aware of how he had two identities. His normal face identity had to try to keep a reputable name. He continued more bitterly. Anyway, I arrived in Japan several days ago thinking I'll be safe, but I was immediately surrounded by the Japan police force. At that time, I wasn't aware of their special technology programming. They were 10 times more attentive than usual. For the first time in my life as a thief, I felt desperate, scared, frightened, so alone. Like a tiny animal chased by numerous merciless predators. No matter where I ran to, they always seemed to know where I was going. Then, I missed my footing. They were aiming guns at me, shooting consecutively. Someone shot me in the chest. They almost caught me that time. There had been pain, harsher, more vivid than anything he had ever experienced, which included falling off 100-foot buildings, crashing through unbreakable glass, and even beaten black and blue with an iron rod. But as usual, he had managed to scrape out of trouble. Staring with sad ocean green eyes, Sakura sympathetically patted Kaido's shoulder. He was no different from her. If he was a normal boy, he'd be going to school right now, be in summer vacation with his family, or at least be safe in bed sleeping. You're safe here, at least for the moment. You can stay as long as you want to. Why are you doing all this for me? Kaido Magician asked in disbelief. Could this girl actually be feeling sympathy for him? Because I want to, Sakura replied firmly. The next morning. I wonder if Kaido-kun slept well, Sakura thought as she entered the living room where Kaido Magician had slept on the sofa. Where are you going? Kaido Magician was halfway out the window. None of your business. I'm grateful that you helped me yesterday, but I need to go on my way. I won't bother you guys anymore. It's dangerous. You're injured, and they can track you easily. That's no problem, the thief replied, yet he was clutching his upper left chest where the deep wound was embedded with a bullet. He found it hard to breathe, as if his lungs were being torn apart. Stay, please, Sakura mentioned. Plus, breakfast is ready. Actually, more like lunch since you slept in so late. But breakfast? His ears perked. Well, maybe I'll stay a couple more hours. Kaido-kun climbed back into the room. In result, various things clattered out of his pocket of his black pants. He sweat dropped. Hey! That's my new Sony Discman and my Motorola hand phone and the digital waterproof watch I bought in New York. My silver chain and... hair gel? Syaoran exclaimed in outrage. Running a finger through his spiked, light-colored hair, Kaido Magician threw back his head and laughed. I ran out of hair gel. A magician must always keep a respectable appearance. He adjusted his sunglasses on the bridge of his nose, ignoring Syaoran's wrath as he mumbled, You call that respectable? On a side note, Sakura asked, Do you always sleep with your sunglasses on? Blinking, Kaido-kun looked around and straightened his sunglasses. It's the first I slept in a week, and yeah, I wear my sunglasses 24/7 when I'm around other people. He eyed the food set in front of him before picking up the fork and devouring it. Oof. Kaido-kun wolfed the hot cakes drenched in maple syrup. This is the best thing I've eaten in ages. After the 5th serving, he started slowing down. Oh yeah, I just noticed. Why are you two living together? It's like a married couple or something. Blushing, Sakura stammered, "Hui! It's nothing like that. It's just that my father's away on a 2-month seminar touring all of Japan, and my brother's spending the semester abroad studying in England, so I'm staying at Syaoran's because it's the most convenient when there's danger." I see, Kaido-kun replied, raising an eyebrow. Maylin told me that you two have some sort of complex against each other. She told me that you two are worse back in elementary school, and that she worries that you guys will ever manage together. We've been managing fine and well. Seems like you had plenty of time to discuss about other people's affairs with Maylin while being chased by the whole Hong Kong police force, Syaoran muttered dryly. You have a cute relative. I wouldn't have been able to escape from Hong Kong without her help. Maylin, cute, helpful? Ha! Suspiciously, Syaoran examined Kaido's tone and expression and couldn't draw much from it. True to his name, Kaido had a magician's poker face when he wanted to, and a magician's charm as well. Taking out his portable laptop computer, Kaido Magician began to type in several codes, beginning an elaborate research once more. Oh no, Sakura exclaimed suddenly, leaping up from her chair. I left something at school. It's vacation now. School's closed. Can't you get it after summer break? Syaoran asked. No, I need to get it. I'll run over to school and just pick it up, all right? You two stay here, okay? Sakura ran out of the apartment. Syaoran and Kaido Magician faced each other with evil looks, now that Sakura wasn't there to control them. The school is so empty, Sakura thought as she leaped over the school gates. Good thing I always liked gymnastics, or else it would be harder to enter the school. Quickly, she jogged over to the old theater. She was pretty sure she left her thing in her private locker in the backstage auditorium. Then she saw someone with long, wavy violet hair pulled up into 2 high pigtails. Tameo-chan? What are you doing here? Sakura-chan! Tameo waved. I went to work on the costumes for Starcrossed over vacation, so I was just picking up something. I got the keys to enter from the front guardian. You? Oh, I jumped over the gates. I need to pick up something from my locker. It won't take long. Really? I'll wait for you by the front gates, Tameo replied, her eyes twinkling. I do hope there's opportunities to tape Sakura-chan this vacation. Then she gave out a funny little sigh. Oh, yeah, but I do have to go away for several days with my mother for some business. Oh, how awful, not getting to see Sakura-chan for days. Now it should be in here. Sakura fumbled through the other stuff in her locker. Aha! Found it. She drew out a book. Inside, it was a picture of her mother in Lee Ryu-rin for the school production Phantom of the Opera. Nadesco shined out of the picture with radiant forest green eyes. Smiling, Sakura drew it to her heart. Though she didn't want to think of it, she became aware that her own school production of Starcrossed was approaching rapidly after summer vacation. The director-teacher had told them to completely memorize their parts over the break. Then she frowned. Unknowingly, she walked out of the locker room and towards the section leading to the closed basement door. Suddenly, she heard footsteps heading her way. Her heart jumped as she turned around the corner. Eran-kun? Sakura exclaimed as the figure emerged from the shadows. How strange, meeting so many people at school during vacation. For some reason, though, it seemed as if she had caught Syaoran off guard. Sakura? Eran flicked back his dark bluish hair held back in a slender ponytail. He put on his most charming grin as he regained composure. Why, I'm so glad to see you. I haven't seen you since the soccer game. I do hope we get to meet up more often over summer. Smiling, Sakura replied, Of course we will. We'll have all heaps of fun this vacation. Will we? Eran whispered, stepping closer to her. It seemed as if his golden-flecked hazel eyes could penetrate through her. What was her feelings for this boy? She liked him. She liked him a lot. He was nice, athletic, good-looking, and had perfect manners. After her discouraging talk with Syaoran that winter, she had looked up to Audon even more. Audon's handsome face was close to hers. Sakura shivered. It's because I'm just wearing a tank top and cutoffs, yet, though it was late afternoon, it was still hot outside. It's not because I feel uneasy. Though she wanted to step away, Audon was blocking the pathway out. Her heart pounded faster as she felt his breath tickling her neck. Shaking his head, Audon stepped back. Smiling, he commented, "You're wearing that perfume I gave you for your birthday. It smells nice on you." "Huh? Thanks." Sakura blushed furiously, though it sounded crazy. For a second, she thought he was going to kiss her. "Well, see you around, Sakura." Audon waved and walked out of the auditorium. "What took you so long?" demanded Eureka, flipping back her shoulder-length wavy hair as Audon emerged from the Seiju Junior High School. "I've been standing here for ages." "Sorry, Eureka," Audon murmured demurely. "Our plan was carried out successfully, though." He brushed his lips with his finger. Sakura had gazed up at him with the most transparent emerald eyes. She looked so innocent and naive that he had wanted to. "Earth to it, Audon! I have top news," Eureka declared, her hazel gold eyes twinkling amusedly. "What is it?" Flipping out her handphone, Eureka dialed a number. Then she said, "Hello, is this the police station?" Grinning slowly, she continued, "From a reliable source, I happen to know where the Kaido magician is right now." After she hung up, Audon slapped her shoulder. "Ooh, getting tricky, aren't you, sister?" Double trouble this summer. "Why isn't she coming back?" Syaoran shouted, pacing back and forth around the living room, then plopping onto the couch. "What if something happened and the dark force sent out another force? Last time was bad enough, and this time I wouldn't be there to protect her." In a bored tone, Kaido Magician replied without taking an eye off his laptop screen. "Cool it. For heaven's sake, she'll come back. She's a girl. Girls take a long time doing things." Then, with the wicked gleam under his sunglasses, he commented, "Of course, she could be doing other things." "What are you implying?" Syaoran asked, slamming his fist on the table next to the laptop. "Oh, nothing. So, what do you two do around living together?" Kaido placed his chin on his palm and gazed at Syaoran for the first time in hours. "What do you think?" Then Syaoran realized that was the wrong thing to say. On Kaido's expression was clearly written the worst things possible. Groaning, Syaoran said, "No, I mean we just get on with our daily life." All of a sudden, his powers became alert. It seemed as if a strong power had been packed tightly, then burst open. "What's the matter?" Kaido Magician asked. "A long-shielded force has broken free," Syaoran replied mysteriously. Again, Sakura felt stifling hot after Audon left the auditorium. Like a magnet, she felt her hand being drawn to the doorknob at the basement of the old theater. To her surprise, it wasn't locked, and it turned. Slowly, the door creaked open. Then an unearthly shrieking was heard, and a figureless dark form materialized in the air and burst out of the basement, surrounding Sakura. A deathly cold gust swept over her. The phantom had finally broken the seal that Nadesco and Ryorin had placed on it more than 20 years ago to keep the dark force in the basement. Now it was set loose. Without thinking clearly, Sakura screamed and began running out of the old theater with all her might. She didn't stop until she was out in the open again. Deftly, she leaped over the school gateway where Tomeo was waiting. Finally, she rested, panting heavily. "Are you all right, Sakura-chan? Did something happen?" Tomeo asked with concerned, ocean blue eyes. I'm fine," Sakura replied and gazed up to the sky. To her surprise, the sun was already setting. "Oh no, I've been gone for ages." Entering the Lee apartment, Sakura slipped off her sandals and walked into the living room. "Oh, sorry I took so long." Then she sweat dropped. The living room was a mess, with scattered books and papers everywhere. The furniture was displaced. Syaoran and Kaido-kun sat at opposite ends of each other, folding their arms, and refused to look in each other's direction. Obviously, there had been a fight. Sighing, Sakura began picking up the books and papers. "Syaoran, don't you get along with anyone?" "Apparently not with him," Syaoran answered, glaring at Kaido Magician, who in return stuck out his tongue at him. Yet it'd been fun to punch someone for once. Of course he'd received blows too. "So did you get that thing you were looking for?" "Yeah." She slipped out of her pocket the photo. Picking up the picture of Ryurin and Tedesco, Syaoran asked, "You went to school just to get this?" "Well, yeah, it's an important picture to me," Sakura replied defiantly. "Took an awful long time just getting a photo," Kaido commented mischievously. "Why, don't you insure my bet with Lee? It's 10,000 yen for me if you were meeting someone specifically of the opposite sex, and 10,000 yen more if you were doing something with that person." Glaring furiously at Kaido-kun, Sakura stomped up to him and shouted, "What are you hinting?" "Why are you blushing? Are you recalling something?" Kaido goaded. Sakura realized that she was remembering Eran's intense golden eyes as he cornered her in the backstage. How she thought he might kiss her, and how his breath tickled her neck as he told her her perfume smelled nice. Turning even more red, Sakura punched Kaido-kun's shoulder and stated, "Shut up! What do you take me for?" "Oh, my chest!" Kaido-kun cringed over, gripping his left chest where the bullet shot through. "Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry, Kaido-kun. I forgot you were injured." Sakura bent over, concerned. Then, grinning slyly, he poked her side, making her squeal, and stated, "Tricked ya! Ha ha ha! Whoever you met must have affected you a lot. Let me guess, did he say your name in a low, suave way and tell you your perfume smelled nice? Were you in a dark surrounding?" Sakura threw a cushion at the thief's face, who was still laughing. She sat down on the floor, hugging her knees, trying to stop the blushing. "I can't believe this thief is really a top 20 wanted person. He's so carefree, joking, and lighthearted like a normal person. He always hits the nail when he teases me. I don't like it at all." From behind her, Syaoran rolled off the couch and sat next to her on the floor. "You met Syaoran." "Oui?" Sakura looked straight up, startled. It wasn't a question or an accusation. It was a statement. She didn't have to lie or deny it, yet why did she feel guilty? She couldn't look at Syaoran in the eye. "Yes, I did. In the old theater. It was by chance." "Oh." The expression on Syaoran's face was mild and indifferent. What's with the "oh"? Sakura thought, tickled. And how did he know I saw Eran-kun? Does he even care at all? For some strange reason, Sakura wished that Syaoran did care. Then, Kaido Magician frowned as he gazed at the blinking red lights on his laptop screen. "Police. More police are heading this way." "But why? They checked yesterday," Sakura said. "Don't ask me why. They're really out to catch me this time." Kaido Magician stood up. "They've been chasing you for months now," Syaoran commented. "Why are they so keen on your track all of a sudden? You haven't stolen much these days anyway." Shaking his head, Kaido replied, "It's because recently someone filed a suit against me. He's damn rich, and he has a lot of influential power. And the police finally have enough financing to support all the new advanced technological equipment to track me. Who's this guy filing against you? Trying to recall the name. Kaido murmured, Kino, I don't remember. Anyway, he was this legal owner of the Mirror of Truth. Don't tell me how we got his hands on it. He had temporarily lent it to the museum. Then I stole it. He wants it back, since the Mirror of Truth is a priceless heirloom dating back to the time of fair Princess Rosa. While for me, it's one of the Five Force treasures, so I must keep it. Phew, what a scrape you're in, Syaoran muttered. I think I've been staying here too long. I really have to leave now, Kaido Magician stated. He fingered the oval white gold locket hanging around his neck on a silver ball chain. For a second, he wavered as he felt a wave of nausea. Again, it was hard to breathe, as the bullet in his chest felt like an iron stake embedded in it. Damn it, not now. When he was first shot, he really thought that he would die, yet over the past few days, he could bear with it. It wasn't getting better and it hurt like hell, yet he had to put up with it. Yesterday, when Sakura had used the heal on him, it really felt better. Now, once again, his breath came out in jerks. With a bare hand, he clutched his left chest, panting, because every moment caused a ripping pain. Then he gazed down at his hand. It was streaked with blood. His wound was bleeding again, yet he had to leave. Kaido-kun, you have to go to the hospital. You can't go around with a bullet embedded in you. You'll be dead meat under the police, Sakura said. Are you crazy? Especially with this microchip on me, they'll locate me in the hospital in no time. Then I'd really be dead meat. Are you supposed to be a genius at disguising? Sakura questioned. Yeah, but if they still locate me, whatever disguise I'm in, through this microchip, don't you understand the power of technology? Then give me the locket. Isn't that the problem? The microchip is attached to the locket, but you can't dislocate it or throw it away, so you won't and can't move around freely, Sakura stated, holding out a hand. You can trust me. I'll keep it safe, and you can go to the hospital. It's not that I don't trust you to keep it safe. I mean, I trusted you two with the diamond necklace and the sapphire ring. But you really don't understand how serious this situation is involving the police, the governments, and high officials. I'm a top 20 wanted thief. For me, this whole is a joke because nor anyone else cares or worries a crap about me. But for someone like you, it's grave business, Kaido explained in exasperation. He's right about this being grave business, Syaoran confirmed. Mother once told me never to meddle with high officials. It's best for them to be clueless about what's going on in the magician side of the world. With a determined look on her face, which Syaoran learned long ago appeared only when she was really going to do what she had in mind, Sakura stated, Look, I know what I'm talking about. If you go out in the state, Kaido-kun, you'll be caught under 24 hours with that microchip whatever stuff. And if you're caught, let's look at things in a bigger scale. Eventually, the story of how you're stealing the Five Force treasures will come out. At best, they'll rest with that. At worst, the whole story behind the Five Force treasures, about the magicians, about the people with special powers, about us, it will all collapse. The whole world will know about it. Then what will happen? It'll cause panic. It'll become harder to fight the Dark Ones. The Dark Ones will become the most powerful, feeding on the fear of the people for the ultimate destruction. Sakura paused, looking at the young man dressed as stark black with grave emerald eyes. But if you give the locket to me, you will be pretty much free to go to the hospital and number one, treat your wound. Don't you value your life? Meanwhile, I will keep the locket safe. Even if the locket's safe, you won't be safe. The police, Kaido Magician was cut off. The police won't be able to track me. I can make sure of that. Believe me, this isn't only for you, Kaido-kun. It's for all of us. Kiro-chan told me that the Five Force treasures hold something important for me. I need them as much as you do. And if the ruby on this locket is indeed related to the one of the Dark One's ancestor had, then it's important to me too. It's not as easy as you make it sound, Kaido mumbled. Staring at the indicators on his computer screen, he stated, well, they're here to chase me once more. Give it, Sakura said, holding out her hand. Don't worry, all right? Just go to the hospital. Right away. She began leading Kaido-kun to the doorway of the apartment. Sighing, Kaido Magician dropped the necklace onto Sakura's open palm. Do you really know what you're getting yourself into? Syaoran demanded. Yes, Sakura replied shortly. To Kaido Magician, she dropped some change into his hand. You're free to walk out the door now. Take a taxi and go straight to the hospital, all right? Yeah, and tell the doctors that someone shot me with a gun. Kaido's mouth twitched, holding back an ironic laughter. You're a thief? You make the lies, Sakura told him brightly. For a while, Kaido-kun stared at Sakura in disbelief. He, the lone thief of the night, who worked independently and freely, unbound by any chains of social contact. Never had he expected to receive help, especially from a girl like this. Finally, he croaked, Thanks. A rusty word that was so long unused for him. Feeling gratitude. What a strange emotion. The thanks wasn't elegant or polite, yet it stirred Sakura's heart. You'll be treated in no time, Kaido-kun, and you'll be out of this scrape. Then we can work out some sort of plan to find the remaining treasures. Bye! And please stay safe this time. Kaido Magician nodded, then walked to the nearest window, leaping out. Sweat dropping, Sakura called out, You could have used the front door, you know! Smiling and holding a thumb on his way out, Kaido replied, Ha ha, I'm more used to the window. Well, I'll come back for the locket, and I won't be in a pathetic situation like this. Then he jumped away gracefully, almost as if he wasn't injured, yet something about his movement was less free and ruthless that night. You must be crazy, Syaoran muttered as Sakura stretched lightheartedly and began tossing things into a backpack. Do you really not understand how Kaido Magician's business is our business too? That the Five Force treasures and everything affects us greatly. Not only that, but I want to help Kaido-kun, and I know there's some hidden mystery to him. Sakura remarked, zipping up her bag. She swung it onto her back. Well, if you're not helping, I'm going by myself. Where do you think you're going in the middle of the night? Syaoran demanded. To Tokyo, Sakura declared defiantly. I'm going to find out how to detach the microchip, and I'm going to find out who's filing the suit against Kaido-kun. If you're not helping, I'm going by myself. Groaning, Syaoran said, You know I'll never send you off on your own. I'm with you, whatever crazy plan you cook up. Sakura grinned. When she gazed out the window, she realized that the police were quietly flocking the neighborhood. This time, no sirens were on. Probably they were trying to sneak upon the Kaido Magician. She did hope that he reached the hospital safely. Hey, it's nighttime, so it's chillier now, Syaoran pointed out, tossing her a jacket. Thanks. Sakura put it on over her denim shorts and navy blue tank top. Then she walked out of the apartment balcony, leaning against the railing as she gazed down. I don't think we'll be able to go out the normal way through the door. The security guards are blocking the front entrance of this apartment. I guess. Stepping outside on the balcony, he shut the sliding glass doors and locked it. With keen amber eyes, Syaoran measured the distance from the balcony of his apartment to the next building. Then he slipped out a cylinder metal boomerang and flung one and out to the roof of the neighboring building. When it hooked onto a railing, while he kept a hold of a rope attached to it with his other hand. Hold tight! Grabbing a hold of Sakura's wrist with one hand and grasping the rope, he swung over to the building. Together, they landed on the roof of the building. Panting, Sakura said, You could have warned me. I thought my heart would fall out. Inside, she thought, I keep on forgetting all these random skills that Syaoran has. I remember them from the old card captor days. He used this method to climb up the tomato clock tower when we were capturing the time cards so long ago. You know, I really think you could have become a thief too if you wanted to. Luckily, I became the Lee clan's chosen one and came to Japan to rival against the card captor. Hoi? Sakura stared at Syaoran's calm expression. She had always figured that Syaoran didn't exactly like being the chosen one, though he had come to Japan with his free will, but it wasn't something he would feel lucky about, especially after Li Yun, his cousin's death. As if Syaoran anticipated her thoughts, he said in a pleasantly low tone, "If I became a thief, then I wouldn't have met you, would I?" Something warm and fuzzy inside her stirred, at the strange guilt she felt about meeting Syaoran in the old theater at school disappeared. I'm glad Syaoran's the chosen one, too. If I didn't meet him 5 years ago, he wouldn't be here with me in one of my craziest plots ever, right at this moment. Beneath, voices shouted, "Look! The TMI-305 microchip indicator is blinking at the next building. Move! Move! Move!" "Oh dear," Sakura murmured, running to the opposite side of the roof. "They're really gonna get us now." Before she could say anything, Syaoran had already grabbed her and swung over to the next roof, then the next. "There, I think that'll take a few seconds for the police to come," Syaoran said, catching his breath. "Do you think it's safe to use magic to go to the train station now?" Sakura asked. "Pretty much. The police are still catching up, so we have to hurry." Gee, I wonder how Kaido Magician managed this. I'm already beat being chased by the police. Sakura's ears twitched. Already she heard footsteps leading up to the roof. "It's this building! The Kaido Magician must be here!" the policeman yelled. She had to hurry. "Release!" With her staff, she struck down on her newer Sakura cards. "Unicorn, carry us at Tomato train station." With a swirling of black feather wings, the unicorn appeared. Quickly, Sakura swung over its back and stroked the stallion Midnight's black coat. Turning to Syaoran, who was just standing there, she asked, "Aren't you coming?" Yeah." Syaoran climbed on behind her. Then, Midnight Star, the black unicorn, soared off, camouflaging perfectly into the night sky. As the unicorn flew lower down, as they drew nearer to the train station, Sakura whispered, "Look! The police are surrounding the station. They already figured out we're going to arrive here." They probably located the direction that we were headed through the microchip device," Syaoran pointed out. "Should we take a bus to Tokyo?" Sakura asked. "It'll be no use. They'll probably surround us at the bus stop." Sighing, Sakura stroked the unicorn's glossy ebony black mane. "But it'll be difficult for the unicorn to carry us both on its back to Tokyo, since it's so far off." Midnight Star whinnied, tossing back its head and nuzzled against Sakura's face, indicating he was fine and he could manage carrying them no matter what distance. "Thank you, Midnight Star. Lead us to Tokyo, then. We'll set things right," Sakura exclaimed enthusiastically. "Don't be so bouncy. You're making me nervous," Syaoran said, gazing down at the distant streets beneath them. Still, inside, he felt rather happy, just watching Sakura so enthusiastic and animated. Yet, why was he always stuck gazing at the back of Sakura's head? An odd flowery smell from Sakura enveloped him. "What'd you do? Drench yourself in perfume? It's giving me a headache." "Aaron likes it," Sakura muttered. "No wonder I don't like it," Syaoran responded coolly. "Well," before Sakura could come up with a retort, Syaoran leaned his head over on her shoulder. "Don't. This is not the situation to be arguing with me." When Sakura still tried to come up with something to say, he whispered, "You know what?" Sakura jumped as she felt Syaoran's warm presence pressed against her back. "Even if I wasn't the chosen one, and even if I wasn't sent to Japan, even if I was a thief, I think..." He paused. Sakura tried to turn around to face him, which was rather difficult since she was riding a stallion. "You think what?" "I think..." Syaoran continued, "No, I know. I would have still found you. Eventually." Her forest green eyes softened, and Sakura clasped her diamond necklace, thinking, maybe I was wrong in thinking that the only thing that connects me to Syaoran is being a card captor. Maybe there's something else. She smiled, feeling the cool wind blow on her face as the two of them soared through the star-studded black sky on their way to Tokyo to face their unexpected summer jeopardy. Meanwhile, at the hospital, and you see, I'm the Japanese ambassador's son. While I was in France, there was a parade, and the French prime minister came at the end of the procession waving to the people. I happened to be watching the parade when I saw an assassin in the crowd pointing his shining black metal gun straight at the French prime minister's heart. Kaido Magician explained to the intent crowd that gathered around him as he sat on the hospital bed holding everyone in suspense. When I saw that, I knew that I must act at once. He brought his fist up heroically. As the assassinate shot off the gun, I leaped out of the crowd and took the gun and got shot instead of the prime minister, saving his life. The bullet barely missed my heart, however. Wow, how courageous and wonderful. All the young nurses of that ward awed, flocking around Kaido-kun's bed. They all gazed up at the handsome young patient with a bandage on his chest in wonder. Do you speak French? One pretty nurse, who was a colleague intern at the hospital, asked. Mais oui. Bonjour, mademoiselle. Vous êtes très belle. Elegantly, he flicked his magician's hand and produced a red rose, presenting it to her in a perfect manner. They all swooned. The new patient, the Japanese ambassador and France's son, was the most charming boy they had ever met. Little did they know he was the infamous Kaido Magician who came on the evening news every day. Did you receive an award for your bravery? Another young nurse asked. Of course. I almost sacrificed my life for the French prime minister. From his pocket, he fiddled out a medal. See? Those pretty airheaded nurses wouldn't figure out he had stolen the medal from Shin-san, the great artist of the Angel and Warrior series, and that it was a New York Metropolitan Museum of Fine Arts reward, not a Nobel French Medal of Bravery. Ooh, how marvelous. Oh, poor Voiler-kun. Almost dying, though. Kaido Magician grinned, relaxing on the bed, with a dozen hands ready to pet him and do favors for him. Ha ha ha. Sakura was right. He was a liar. French ambassador's son, indeed. People believed anything. And he told them that his name was Voleur de Nuit, thief of the night. Oh, Francais. Outside the hospital window, he thought he saw something like a flying black stallion in the distance. He winked at it. His motto was to relax and enjoy life while he could. Leaning back on the cool, crisp sheets of the bed, he closed his eyes and fell for the first time into deep slumber without haunting dreams of his past, nor persistent police chasing after him.